Y'all, I should have known something was wrong the moment I saw the marketplace ad. It said, antique mirror, $10 OBO, definitely not haunted, minor crack. Self-reflection, not guaranteed. That right there, that's 3 red flags and a maybe. But I was feeling nostalgic. I figured I could hang it behind the toilet and maybe catch a glimpse of myself looking majestic mid-squat. So, I bought it. Feller named Zeke dropped it off and backed away like it was hissing at him. Didn't say a word, just pointed at the crack and peeled out of there like the mirror had a warrant. He didn't even take his $10, which was like the 13th reason why I should have gotten rid of that thing stat. But that wouldn't make a good story, now would it? Now, the crack glowed a little under the moonlight. Not like alien artifact glow, just a soft bluish shimmer. Like swamp gas trapped in glass. I figured it was fine. I propped it up next to the unplugged air fryer and forgot all about it. That night, the moon was bright enough to make the possums salute it. I caught a weird shimmer in the mirror as I passed by. Just a little ripple in the crack running through the middle, like heat waves off a summer highway. I squinted at it and told it, you better not be haunted, I don't got the bandwidth. Then, I went about my business, brushed my teeth in the kitchen sink like God intended, did a little shirtless strut past the mirror just to see how my chest hair was coming in. Hit a pose. Tried to flex. And then, tripped over my own damn boot. And that was it. No crash, no smack, just this wet and the world folded around me like a possum trap made out of moonlight. For just a second, I was weightless. Had this cool metallic taste in my mouth, like if you licked a penny that you found in your freezer. Don't pretend you don't know what that tastes like. I landed face first in grass. But not my grass. My grass is patchy, smells like beer and hot dog water. This was, well, it was trimmed, soft, like fancy golf course grass. I looked up and there were mansions, dozens of them, and gates, iron ones. Curly, like they'd been styled at a hair salon for fences. There was a big stone sign nearby that said, welcome to Sweet Tea Hollow Reserve. Sweet Tea Hollow. It looked less like a neighborhood and more like a subdivision that fines you for having the wrong color lawn gnome. I wandered through the hedges until I saw the nearest mansion. Big white columns, shiny windows, and a driveway so clean, I felt guilty just stepping in it. I knocked on the front door, which had one of those knockers shaped like a lion, and before I could even finish knocking, the door swung open, and there stood me. Except this version was clean shaven, hair combed, shirt ironed, smelled like eucalyptus and success. He had on a pastel polo and boat shoes. Boat shoes. I ain't even got a boat. This version of me had me feeling like I was the doppelganger. Are you, he squinted, me, but homeless? I fell through a mirror, I said. Statistically, this was bound to happen. My name's Possum Paw McGraw Jr. Nice to meet you. I'm Raccoon Foot McGraw Sr. Pleasure. He looked me up and down like I was a stray cat with a diploma, and then sighed. We'll figure it out later. I've got a pool party going on. You look like you could use a drink and maybe some dry shampoo. Come on. He handed me a tiny raccoon-sized mimosa and gestured me through a house that looked like Martha Stewart had made a deal with the devil. Marble floors, gold trim, air that smelled like expensive air freshener, and top-shelf Fabuloso. We're entertaining the neighbors this afternoon, he said. A lot of big names in this hollow. You'll love them. Classy folks. No offense. I didn't know whether to be insulted or flattered, so I just sipped my tiny drink and followed him out back. There was an infinity pool shaped like a lowercase G. There was a charcuterie raft, gluten-free and snooty as hell. Raccoons were playing everywhere, wearing floaties, serving drinks, lounging on towels with little cucumber slices over their eyes. A raccoon in a tiny suit jacket walked past me standing upright carrying a tray of cucumber sandwiches. Sir, it squeaked, would you like a cheese cube? That's when I cried a little, y'all. Not sad tears, just the kind of cry when reality don't make sense and also you kind of want cheese. I trailed Raccoon Foot Sr. around while he introduced me like some distant cousin from the bad side of time. First, we met Nautilus. Same face as Natalie, but no mask, no glow, just a warm smile and a deviled egg tray. She patted my arm and said,
bless your heart.
Which, being from the South, I'm 1,000% sure was a coded insult. Then there was Father John, who explained he wasn't actually a priest, he just played one on a goose removal reality show called Holy Honkers. Said he made house calls, quoted scripture, and occasionally drop-kicked aggressive waterfowl in the name of decency. Out by the pool loungers, I spotted a raccoon in a jewel-studded harness and an eye patch. Gravy. He was sipping a tiny cocktail and leaning into a whisper with none other than Grits, who was rocking shades and riding a pool noodle like a champion. They fist bumped and laughed like they just buried a secret together. I don't know how Grits got here, but there's a lot that I don't know about the little guy. I try not to think too hard about it. Everything about this place felt off. Polished, controlled, like somebody had taken all the weird from my world and ironed it flat. Then Raccoonfoot Sr. pointed to the koi pond. Out by the edge stood a girl dressed in black lace and boots big enough to kick a hole in time itself. She was pale, short blonde hair pulled back and held there by a hairband. She looked like she'd haunt a library and your bloodline and consider it a light day. "That's my daughter," he said proudly. "We call her Raccoonfoot Jr." I blinked at him. "You named your daughter after yourself?" "Well, it's more of a nickname," he said. "Her real name is..." But I was already nodding. "Raccoon Jr., it is." He tried to correct me, but I'd stopped listening. The name just fit. I started across the koi stone toward her, figured I should introduce myself. She didn't turn, but her shoulders tightened. One small, sharp breath. In the koi's water reflection, her eyes cut to mine for just a second. A coin flip between interest and warning, like she was measuring me up for trouble. "You remind me of Natalie when she was younger. I saw a picture of her once. Same haunted Victorian mailbox vibe." She turned to face me. Pale eyes, no smile, just a faint tilt of her head.
"I will reverse your bones."
Her eyes said she'd do it too. The koi all went belly up at once. A raccoon waiter across the patio dropped a tray and screamed. I backed away, y'all, hands up like I just cussed in church. I muttered to myself, nope, that's foreshadowing, that's what that is. Still shaking, I wandered over toward the food tables under one of those big awning tents with no walls. Being around these folks tuckered me out, and my blood sugar was lower than my standards. Raccoon Sr. spotted me right off and waved me over. "Well, hey there, Pa, how do you like the party so far?" I rubbed the back of my neck. Truth be told, it's a little much. Feels like I wandered into somebody else's. Say, did I ever tell you about my chimney business? I opened my mouth, but he was already off to the races. See, the thing about chimney construction is, his voice droned on like a lawnmower stuck in tall grass. I nodded along politely, but my eyes had already drifted to the candle sitting dead center on the table. It was tall, skinny, flame-burning steady, waxed the same strange color as boiled peanut water. It hooked me for some reason, maybe because it was the only thing more interesting than chimneys at the moment. I leaned on the table, pretending to listen, but my gaze stayed on that little lick of fire. The longer I stared, the quieter Raccoon Sr. seemed to get, like he was still talking, but farther and farther away. The candle burned lower, then it went out. And everything broke loose. From all around the tent, screams erupted, folks clutching at their faces, bodies coming apart like paper left out in the rain. Naughty dropped her glass, eyes rolling back as her skin blistered and peeled, vanishing into nothing. Father John staggered forward, honking like a goose, feathers bursting out from his shirt before both man and bird melted into a slick puddle into the ground. I stood there frozen, heart pounding, until I realized something. Raccoon Sr. was still talking. I turned to him. His face was melting, sagging clean off the bone, and then the skull underneath started running too, dripping like hot wax. His jawbone clacked and crumbled, still rambling about chimney sweeps and soot density like nothing was wrong. And then I felt her breathe behind me.
Finally, someone wandered in and broke my bindings.
Then the sky cracked, not metaphorically, like literally. A fissure opened straight up the clouds like a windshield hit by a hammer. The sun revealed itself to be a giant eye. It trembled, rolled back into its socket, and closed, plunging the world into night. Lightning struck sideways. You could feel thunder rumble in your chest. The water from the pool slowly spiraled upward like slow-motion tornadoes. Raccoons melted like candles. One turned into smoke and spelled out, "Oops," before vanishing. I peed a little. Gravy leapt onto Mary's shoulder like he'd been waiting for this moment for centuries. She floated above the chaos, open, toothy smile, eyes rolled white, arms lifted like she was directing a symphony made entirely of screaming. Do y'all ever get tired of not knowing what the hell is going on? Because I sure as hell do. One minute I'm strutting my stuff in a mirror, the next thing I know, raccoons are melting, water's spiraling upward, the sun is an eye. I have literally stumbled into the worst timeline. And that's when Natalie arrived. A green triangle formed up in the sky, the lines cutting through it like somebody took a divine box cutter to reality. Natalie dropped through it like a meteor full of attitude. Her mouth snarling below her pale green mask, geometric circles glowing faintly against the green. Hair floating like she had her own wind source.
"Mary!"
she shouted. Mary turned midair with a slow smile like she'd been waiting for this. As she turned, a mask formed over her eyes too. But it wasn't like Natalie's. Hers looked like outer space was peeking through a triangle over her eyes. Stars blinked across it. Moons drifted across her cheekbones. The air around her rippled like reality was holding its breath. The space between them warped, light bending wrong, like the world was trying to hide what came next. They collided above the pool in a flash of pale green and dark. Trees groaned, lightning cracked sideways. One of the raccoons clutched the lawn chair and started praying. They broke apart, stopping midair to face each other. Then Mary tilted her head and said softly, like she was remembering a dream,
"Abigail, you came back."
Natalie froze for half a second.
"That's not my name."
Mary blinked, visibly shaken. That smile flickered just a little.
"What do you mean?"
But Natalie was already charging again, the sacred geometry glowing brighter in her mask than before. They clashed again, raw power, no elegance, like two storms trying to drown each other. Even I could tell something was off. I have never seen anyone that could keep up with Natalie, but Raccoon Jr., she was different. But I didn't understand why, not yet.
Pa, run!
Natalie said, tearing open a portal beside me. I didn't need convincing. I turned to run through the portal, but Grits was running between my legs trying to get through. I screamed, "Grits!" grabbing at him so I could carry him with me. I tripped over him and tumbled, falling into it, gracious as a gazelle. I hit the linoleum with a groan. My trailer looked normal, but the mirror was still there, quiet, watching. Then Natalie stumbled through after me, bruised and glowing, like a comet that hit a gas station. She helped me to my feet, and then the air got cold. The mirror rippled again. Mary stepped through, calm, smiling, gravy still on her shoulder.
Ah, it's good to be home.
This week's mail was delivered by Grits and Gravy, rolling up in a Barbie Jeep with flame decals and a boombox bungee corded to the roof. Gravy honks a bicycle horn for each letter, and Grits throws glitter in the air like it's a raccoon-themed parade.
Redneck Mailtime. It's time for Redneck Mailtime. Yee-haw, Redneck Mailtime.
Letter number 1 comes from Beverly in North Carolina. Dear Paul, I think my grandbaby might be possessed. She speaks fluent Latin in her sleep and told our Alexa to prepare the vessel. Thoughts? Well, Beverly, I don't know much about vessels, but I do know if your grandbaby starts speaking Latin while staring at the microwave, it might be time to unplug both the microwave and the child. Try switching her cartoons from anything with talking animals to Bob Ross reruns, and maybe get a priest with CPR certification just in case. Sometimes a juice box and a nap fixes things, but if she levitates, well, that's above my pay grade. Letter number 2 comes from Kenny down in Alabama. Paul, I heard mirrors are like portals for ghosts. Does that mean every Walmart dressing room is haunted? Because I saw my reflection blink twice. Kenny, you're not wrong. Walmarts are like psychic truck stops. Ain't no telling what's hanging out in their mirror realms. If your reflection blinks without you, that's a reverse doppelganger. Best thing to do is wink back, compliment it, and leave without buying anything that touches your skin. Avoid belts, sunglasses, and underwear until you can sage your backside. Letter number 3 comes from Cassidy in Louisiana. My dog won't start barking at the bathroom mirror. Every time I try to brush my teeth, he just growls and blocks the sink. What gives? Cassidy, you're either dealing with a haunted mirror or a very judgmental pup. Dogs can see what we can't, like ghosts, anxiety, and your expired mouthwash. If he's blocking you, try brushing your teeth in the kitchen sink. Works for me. Or hang a wet towel over the mirror and see if that helps. If it don't, consider the possibility that your dog's just being a dramatic little watchdog and wants to be the only one with reflective access. Letter number 4 comes from Mark in West Virginia. I got a decorative mirror from a thrift store. Now my dreams are full of static and a lady who keeps saying my name backwards. Is that bad? Mark, if a backwards ghost lady starts narrating your dreams, you need to do 3 things. 1, turn that mirror to face the wall. 2, sleep with a rock salt pouch under your pillow. And 3, don't respond to your name said backwards, forwards, or whispered through vent grates. That mirror is probably part of a closed-loop haunted network. Consider replacing it with a framed picture of Dale Earnhardt Jr. Letter number 5 comes from Jolene in Tennessee. If I say Bloody Mary in the mirror 3 times and nothing happens, do I get a refund? Jolene, that's like shaking a soda can and complaining that it didn't explode. Mirror rituals are unreliable because ghosts have shift schedules. Maybe Bloody Mary was on break. Or maybe you summoned her and she's just watching silently now, judging your countertop hygiene. Either way, no refunds. This ain't Amazon Prime for hauntings. Paranormal contracts don't come with a return policy. But hey, maybe leave out a Capri Sun and see if she shows up next time. Y'all, this is just the beginning of our 6-part Halloween special. Natalie's hurt, the mirror's cracked, and Raccoon Jr., or Mary Thorne, is loose in the trailer park. Join us next week as we try to figure out what she is, why she called Natalie Abigail, and why my trailer looks like it was put through a paper shredder. Remember, if someone is selling something for way too cheap, it's probably cursed. And if you meet yourself and the other you is snooty, ask them for money. And if your doppelganger starts telling you about an incredibly boring story, it's probably best not to stare at the candle. Make sure y'all check out the links below that lead to the work of our amazing voice actors. They deserve all the love. You've been listening to the Deep South Podcast. I'm your spooky marsupial-scented host, Possum Paul McGraw Jr. Hang on to your butts. It's only going to get more weird from here. See y'all then.
Something deep is screaming no, but my mind just won't let go. I'm